Hi guys, I'm Linn and this is the Darbin Orvar channel, and this video is actually a collab with Matt and Jimmy Diresta, and we're giving some of our favorite shop tips. So I'll leave links to their videos in the description so you can go and check those out as well. So I wanted to give a tip about expanding your shop. So let's say you are in your overcrowded garage or basement and you could use a little bit extra space. Well, one place to look is outside. So I have had part of my shop in this carport for years now, and I live in the rainy Pacific Northwest, so it's not always great weather here, and I have made this work for me. So I wanted to go over some things that I have picked up along the way to make this work pretty well. So first of all, make sure you have some kind of roof over your head, whether that is like a canopy or a carport like this. So this is open on 3 sides, and while I do get some wind-driven rain at times, it works out pretty good, and I do try to make sure I stay on top of it, so if I get any moisture or rain anywhere, I just dry that up right away. In terms of picking tools for an outdoor shop, I always try to make sure I pick job site tools like this table saw, for example, or anything that has more plastic in it, because that can handle an outdoor environment better. Make sure you paint all surfaces. So whether it's a bench, a shelf, if you have any kind of cabinets, any drawers, just make sure you paint everything so you don't have mold and mildew develop over time, because that's just really annoying. Now I like to protect all metal surfaces like the lathe, the bed of the bandsaw with wax polish. So I use a mineral oil wax polish, and you have to reapply that every now and then because it wears off over time, but that just makes sure that no metal surfaces rust. It's nice to keep on top of that as well. Next tip is to make sure you have good lighting. Just because it's outside doesn't mean that you don't need good lighting. So I have some very powerful LED lights in the ceiling here, and that just makes a big difference in being able to see whatever you're doing. If you're using extension cords in your shop, make sure to use the exterior heavy-duty kind. That's what I like to use, and I also like to check mine over every now and then just to make sure that there are no wear and tear on any, so just kind of keep on top of that as well. So those were some things to keep in mind if you are looking to expand your shop and move outdoors, which I have been doing successfully for a couple of years now, and it's worked out great. And I also really like the idea of keeping all the messy tools outside, the sawdust, the noise. It's in an outdoor setting, so that just works out really well for me. But now let's see what Matt and Jimmy have to share.
Here's a simple chop saw tip. Make a tent around your chop saw and have it end in a garbage pail. So now you have this sort of passive dust collection system. It stays in here and goes into the pail. And then when I have a lot of production to do, I set the vacuum up on this. You can see how well I keep it. But it actually does help when the vacuum is right here pulling the air out. I've talked about this a few times, but I always keep my hot glue gun plugged in from the minute I get into the shop until the minute I go home. This way I always have hot glue for a quick, easy setup, or if I'm making a quick jig, I'm always ready to go. The spontaneous need is important. When you have to plug it in and wait, you tend to do something different. So always keep your hot glue gun at the ready. It's the end of the day, so I unplug it. I make a lot of signs, as you know, and so anytime I have to print out a template for the bandsaw, I always get 2 made. One gets cut up and I keep the other one for spacing, and many times the client will say, can I have a second one? And so I always have one ready to go. And if I needed a third one, then I'd go get another one printed. But it's always good to have a record, because these things are just black and white prints from FedEx, Kinko's, and they're really cheap. They're like 10 bucks a piece. Even if they're really big, they're only about 8 or 10 bucks. So always get 2 printouts, and you're always prepared.
Hey guys, Matt Diresta here in the Diresta West Coast shop. Today I'm going to show you a quick tip on how you can layer finishes to get a very cool effect on, in this case, some simple pine from Home Depot. So your color choices here are pretty much endless. I like to start out with spray paint and start out with a darker colored spray paint. So in this case, we're going to be using some gloss purple, Rust-Oleum 2-time. Alright, so we've let our purple dry nicely. Now we're going to give it a quick palm sand. Now we're going to take some stain and we're going to put it over this piece. So that's what we would consider 2 layers. I'm gonna go for 1 more layer just to show you how cool this could get. So this time, since we already have a layer of stain on there, I'm gonna belt sand and then palm sand. Alright, so now we have 3 layers on. I'm going to seal it with a nice coat of gloss polyurethane. Alright, so there we go. There's 3 layers, the purple base, the black cherry stain, and then the golden oak stain on top of that. All with sanding in between, and you could see how cool of a look you could get on a piece of basic pine from Home Depot. And again, remember, the possibilities are endless with the colors you choose in your spray paints and your stains. You could go nuts, and you could come out with some very, very, very cool looking pieces of furniture, tables, chairs, benches, whatever you're making. Matt Diresta, out.
Well, that was really cool. Thank you guys so much. And everyone, make sure to check out Matt and Jimmy's videos. I'll link those in the description below. And I'm also sharing some tips in those as well. So yeah, I think that's about it. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And welcome if this is your first time here. Yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.